Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, according to your respective time zone. I am Marco Buscema. I am an Italian attorney. I am a personal injury attorney myself, and I am the proud founder of WIL, Worldwide Independent Lawyers League. What do we do in WIL? It's not only being a platform, a correspondent list. We share a lot of knowledge in a structured way. On Thursdays, we have the series, The World of Law, where possibly one of our affiliates, but sometimes also some external people, share a point of view or their knowledge on a specific topic. Today, we are proud to introduce Fernanda Vaz, tax lawyer in Londrina, Brazil, expert in tax law in Brazil and internationally. And she will share with us knowledge and insights about a specific tax law. Please mute your microphones, all of you, please, about pillar number 2. It's a very specific and technical point on Brazilian tax law, but it's very important. Before leaving the stage to Fernanda, I'll ask people who are present in this call and active, please activate your cameras and then your microphones when asked to introduce themselves. So first, another colleague from Lusofonia, from a Portuguese-speaking country, from Angola, Luanda, the capital city. I see Adilson Samuel Ribeiro, please. Adilson, introduce briefly yourself.
Thank you. What introduction? I'm Adilson Samuel Ribeiro, lawyer from Angola, living in Luanda, working with labor, real estate, commercial, and corporate law. Thank you. I have my office fixed in Luanda, and I'm open to work with all of you. Thank you.
Super great. Obrigado, Adilson. Let's go back to my city, my neighbor, very neighbor. Actually, we had lunch together half an hour ago with Paola Turello. Paola, please introduce yourself, board member.
Boa tarde. Improve a bit my Portuguese. So sorry for my mistakes. I'm very happy to see you, Fernanda. Good to see you, everyone, Edilson. And I'm Paola Turello from Udine, Italy. I'm mainly criminal lawyer. I'm leader of Criminal International Group, and I'm permanent member of WIL Ethic and Social Division, WIL Sunrise. Thank you for I'm so curious to know about the meeting.
Fine, and let's go to Israel now, to Haifa. Christine Lapaijan.
Hello, everybody. I'm attorney Christine Lapaijan from Israel. I deal with criminal law, real estate, and family law. I'm also a mediator and a lecturer in the Haifa University and in another Academy of Law. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine, for being here. And then let's go to Poland. I see the president of WIL Poland, attorney Justyna Matuszak. Please, Justyna.
Hello, everybody. Just joined the meeting. Justyna Matuszak, I'm Polish attorney. I'm based in Warsaw, do mostly corporate IP, IT. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Justyna, for being with us today. And let's go to India. I see Harish Pandya, recent acquisition in WIL, top one. Please, Harish, introduce yourself. Harish? Could you please unmute your activity?
Yes, hi.
Now, yes.
Hello, everyone. Nice being here. I'm an advocate practicing in Bombay, primarily into litigation, business and commercial litigation. I also act as an arbitrator where the High Court appoints me as such, and look forward to meet you all someday, work with you all someday. Thank you.
Great. Come to Malaysia, to KL, this July, where we'll have our WIL's Global Convention 2025. Thank you, Arish. Then Lucelena Tobon from Mexico City.
Hello, everybody. I am Lucelena Tobon. I'm really happy to be here, willing to learn something about Pillar 2. And I'm an immigration lawyer. I'm in Mexico City. I'm proud and humble leader of the International Immigration Law Group in WIL.
Super great. Okay, friends, time to get started. So please mute your microphones except for Fernanda, because now the stage is hers. Fernanda, to you, from Brazil, tax law, we are all ears to listen to you. Please.
Hello, everybody. Can you see my screen?
Perfectly.
Perfectly? Okay. So I'm Fernanda Vaz. I'm specialized in tax law in Brazil. I have a company called Vaz Tax, and we have a tax consultancy here. Today, I'm gonna speak a little bit of Pillar 2 in Brazil. The law is recently here, and we're gonna talk about this. Okay. Okay. Well, the first thing I need to say is when a foreigner company comes to Brazil, the only tax framework the company can establish here is real profit. I already say that to you, but it is important to say this tax framework is very different from the other tax frameworks because in the real profit, we always can make the company pay less taxes, okay? So the amount of the tax started with 22% of monthly taxes in real profit. But with a very good tax planning, this can be reduced to 2%. With this new tax on Pillar 2, this can be changed. Okay. Sorry. One of the tax that requires in this framework tax is contribution on net profit. We call CSLL. The CSLL is 9% to most of the company and 15% to financial institutes. This is not negotiated because it is a contribution. It's not a tax in Brazil. There is a difference, okay? And one of the taxes is this contribution. So it started with 9% of the most of the companies in real profit and 15% to financial institutes. The Brazilian Constitution does not prohibit the creation of federal contributions with the same taxable event as a tax. So the government can tax and levy a contribution on the same commercial act. This is insane, yeah, but here is happening. So we can have a tax, a tribute, or how can I say it? Yeah, it's a tax and a contribution in the same fact, okay? This is not considered a double taxation in Brazil. So there is no current tax theory to reduce or even accept companies to CSLL. That's what I say. It's not a tax with precisely theory, tax theory, tax thesis. We can reduce the CSLL. It's the only contribution we don't have in Brazil, tax thesis to reduce the CSLL. That is precisely why the government chose this contribution to introduce Pillar 2 in Brazil. Not to mention, with the tax reform, the new IVA, it's a new tax, it's coming to the tax reform. charge will be 28% of the net profit. So see, if the foreigner company comes to Brazil, they're going to start to at least 28% of tax, plus the CSLL, about 90%. So we are talking about a huge tax in a real profit framework tax for the company. This is absurd, okay? This is why we need to good tax planning. And therefore, good tax planning, like I said, is essential and necessary to maintain the viability of the foreigner companies in Brazil. So we can say 28% of the new tax with the tax reform, 9% of the CSLL can be reached 15% because of the Pillar 2, and more 22% of the old taxes. Can you see this is high at 15% of the profit? This is absurd. Which company, which foreigner company wants to invest in Brazil paying more than 15% of the taxes of their profits, right? So the government already signed the law, the government already approved. That's why we need to concern about the foreigner companies, because in the Pillar 2, we are talking about large companies. In the Pillar 2, only are used to companies who profit is above 750 million euros. So we are talking about huge companies. And these huge companies in Brazil, they employ a lot of people here. They are good for our economies, and usually they had a lot of tax benefits. Now, with this new scenario, it's going to be hard for these companies to stay in Brazil. I only have a few minutes to talk about it, but I'd like to have more. But there's a lot of things in this new law we need to concern. If someone wants to talk to me, I'm open to share more. And like, for example, for investor in Brazil, if he invests only a company shares, you know, he just invests only shares, and he needs to pay this tax too. So this law is very complex, and Pillar 2, it is going to have a big problem for us. So I'm open to share more if you want to, and that's what I have.
That's great. Okay. Thank you, Fernanda, for this first presentation. We can fix other episodes about this. We can also share it with the tax law group, and so in order to go deeper. But we have some minutes more now. So if some people have already now, some people want to interact now on some specific parts of your presentation, or if not, we can you can take some minutes more to go back to something specific that you passed on very quick. Before doing this, I see Sanjay Patel from India, patent attorney, who joined the meeting and he didn't have the possibility to introduce himself. So Sanjay, I invite you to introduce briefly yourself, and if you have a remark or something you want immediately to ask Fernanda, don't hesitate.
Yeah, thank you, Marco. My name is Sanjay Kumar Patel. I'm from India. I'm the founder and the IP attorney, that is patent and trademark attorney, and my firm name is Excellent IP. We are exclusively practicing into the intellectual property like patent, trademark, copyright, and design patents. I'm also a startup mentor at various startup incubation centers and accelerator centers, and exclusively working to help you protect your intellectual property across the globe. Thank you.
Fine. Thank you, Sanjay, for attending this meeting. Okay, any questions, any remarks? Anything could be interesting for you? Brazil is a big market, is the largest economy in South America, actually in Latin America. So everything regarding Brazil is extremely interesting and important. Any questions, any remarks? Within 3 seconds?
First of all,
Yep.
I think I need to say what is Pillar 2 because I
Please.
said in my last presentation, and I guess I just keep the slide. I'm sorry. Pillar 2, it is a tax. It's a global tax starting with France and a lot of countries in Europe already signed this agreement, and they are agreeing to tax in at least 15% the big companies. The companies who have profits of 750 million euros per year. Okay, so these companies who have profit above this, it's going to pay this global tax called Pillar 2, and it started with 15%. So if the company doesn't have 50% of the tax in that country, that company needs to pay at least 15% of their total profit. And this is Pillar 2. And in Brazil, we have a lot of laws who was collided with this Pillar 2. And that's why the government find a way to enter in Pillar 2. That's why I say about CSLL, because it's a contribution, it's not a tax. So this is the way the government find to tax the companies, the big companies, and enter in Pillar 2. Because if he was simply establish a tax, you know, our laws wouldn't were prohibit this kind of taxes, you know. That's why they use CSLL. It is the only contribution here doesn't have a tax thesis to reduce for the company. That's our concern as a lawyers, because the foreigner companies need to pay this 15%, at least 50%. And with a good tax planning, we could reduce the tax of these big companies. There is here big companies who pay 1-2% of taxes. And with the Pillar 2, these companies will start to pay at least 50%. This is our concern. And when you put together all the tax you have here, these taxes can reach above 15%. 50. It is absurd. This is our major concern here about Pillar 2.
Okay.
And this is a fresh law.
That's great.
They signed last year.
Okay, I have a question. Is there any specific sector affected or involved in the Pillar 2, or is there any difference, any exception, or is it a law an act applying to a specific size of businesses and that's it? Is there any distinction between sectors or not?
No, it is the big companies. The profit needs to be above 750 million euros.
Yeah. So not regarding specific sectors, technology or service or okay.
If you have a profit above 750 million euros per year, you're gonna pay this tax. But the problem is not that. The huge problem, of course, it is that too, but the law have a lot of tiny things we need to
nuances, shades.
exactly.
Okay.
Because, for example, if you invest in an open shares, I'm sorry, an open public shares company, you know, and if you invest in this company and you buy it, a few shares of this company, and this company have a profit above the limit, you need to pay this tax. This is ridiculous.
Okay.
Just because you buy a share of the big company, you need to pay this tax. It is in the law, you know.
Okay.
This
Understand.
this is a huge problem for investors because they don't have a share for one company. They have a share for a lot of companies.
Okay, Fernanda, but normally that's the second question. I'm waiting also if you want, I mean, other people in the call want to intervene, but normally there is a political background behind this choice. We have a big debate in Europe, in European Union, for example, about, that's also a related question. Big companies giving tech services, online services, it's in the news, so not violating anything, like a Google or Facebook or Meta in this case. These companies in the past years, well, there is a lawsuit installed. Okay, so these companies are entitled, according to the European Union's idea, eligible to pay much more than they paid in the past. But these companies claim, no, we are not established there, so we are providing services. So it's a very complex legal situation. So what's the political background behind this Pillar 2? So what does the government, Brazilian government, want to discourage? Because it's taxation is a way to encourage or to discourage. Political way to encourage or discourage. So what do you think? You don't know.
For answer this question, I need to talk about politics.
No, I mean, it's not saying that it's right or it's wrong, but if you want to put a taxation on big companies, it means that in this moment, big companies are not seen in a very good way in Brazil. That's a choice.
That's not what happened here. We have a government who wants to encourage the end of the property, the private property. You know, we have this kind of government here right now. And they want to the end of the private property. They want to end of the companies here. And they want to buy for the state. They want to control all the companies in Brazil. In the state.
Okay, I understand.
The state control the companies.
I understand. So
they are higher our tax to just broke the companies here. And this encouraged to invest, other companies invest in Brazil because these big companies, they have, how can I say, they influence the political.
I understand.
Okay. So they need to take off these big companies in Brazil because they have political influence here.
Okay,
it's not just, oh my God, they are so bad and they don't pay the employers, and no, it's not that. I'm not pro big companies. I'm not saying that.
No, it's okay. It's a neutral question. It's a neutral question requiring, as you provided, a neutral answer. Okay, great, thank you. So I saw Christine, who raised her hand up.
Hi, Fernanda. Thank you for your presentation. I want to ask about taxes that a real estate investment, not a company. Is there another taxes that people should pay, foreign people should pay?
In the real estate?
Yeah. If
Okay.
someone foreign want to invest in real estate, first, can he do it if he's not opening a company in Brazil? And
Yeah.
there is another taxes in, for example, in Israel, there is a lot of taxes in real estate. So I want to know if it's the same in Brazil.
It is. It is it's not the same, of course, but you need to pay taxes here if you are a foreigner or a Brazilian. It is the same thing. You're gonna be a property. You have a property here. You know, if you are invested here, and you need to pay the tax local. So we have a profit. If you have a profit with this real estate, you need to pay tax. You have to pay, let me see, where there's a lot of taxes you need to pay here. I can send to you all the tax you need to pay in real estate.
Well,
but
I would love
there is
to.
no
I want to know the difference.
There is no difference if you are a foreigner or a Brazilian if you buy a property here.
Mm-hmm.
There is no difference, you know. As a person, you don't have difference. You need to pay taxes here in Brazil because the tax law in real estate, it's about where the property is location.
Okay.
It's not about the person, you know. So the facts.
There is not a difference between local and foreign?
No, there is no difference because you need to pay taxes like a Brazilian. There is difference not in tax law. There is difference in contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? To buy a property here, it is different for a foreigner or a Brazilian. But in tax, no, there is no difference. You need to pay the same tax.
Great, fine.
Thank you.
Of course, if the country in Brazil and the country who that foreigner lives have a common agreement to not bitribution, I don't know how to say this. If it is an agreement with the country in Brazil, okay, to not pay twice the profit, the foreigner doesn't need to pay. Okay? For example, if you live in Argentina and Brazil, and you buy a real estate here, a property here, you are in Argentina and you buy in Brazil. You don't need to pay a profit in Brazil and Argentina because our country have a common agreement.
Yeah, there's a treaties between states in order to avoid double taxation.
Exactly.
Okay, fine. Okay, friends, our time is over for this first episode. So we'll interact again with Fernanda for fixing other slots on this. So take note about with your future aspects you want Fernanda to go deeper within, and I'll share the recording of this session later, and we'll be happy to meet you again soon. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thank you all.
Ciao, ciao.
Thanks for being here.
Ciao, Fernanda.
Ciao,
Thank
ciao.
you.
Bye-bye.